All right, everyone, welcome back to Reddit Football Discussion. We dive into the hottest football debates from Reddit soccer and other communities. We have a HOT one today.
Yeah, this one's really got people talking.
Let's get into it.
All right.
Today, we're tackling the question that's got the Anfield faithful all riled up. Is Liverpool under Arne Slot? Boring.
You heard that right. Boring.
I mean, they're winning.
Right.
Yeah.
On paper, they're racking up wins, top of the Premier League, cruising through their Champions League group.
So where's this coming from?
Scroll through the match threads, though. You'll find a surprising amount of people grumbling about it.
Really? I thought fans were loving Slot's tactics. What's changed?
Well, the results are undeniable. No question about that. But the style. Let's just say it's a far cry from that heavy metal football of the Klopp era.
Ah, the Klopp era. Those were the days. Non-stop action. Goals galore, that heart-stopping, high-octane press.
Exactly. Pure adrenaline. And that's what some fans are missing now.
So are we saying Slot's traded excitement for efficiency? Is that what this boils down to?
That's the heart of the debate. Some fans, even a few big-name commentators, think Slot's style is all about control, defensive solidity, instead of the free-flowing attacking football that Liverpool was known for.
Can we get into some specifics here? What exactly has changed on the pitch?
Well, one of the biggest changes is the role of the fullbacks. Think about Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson. Under Klopp, they were basically wingers, bombing forward every chance they got, causing chaos in the final third.
Yeah, they were practically auxiliary attackers.
Exactly. With Slot, much more disciplined, still involved in the attack, but the focus is definitely more on defense, picking their moments to go forward, you know?
Right. Makes sense. But fewer attacking runs from those guys.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make the attack less potent overall?
It could, but it also makes the team a lot more solid defensively.
That's true. Under Klopp, I mean, they were always vulnerable to counterattacks.
Yeah.
Especially when fullbacks were caught upfield.
Exactly. So Slot's system, it's all about minimizing those risks.
So it's a trade-off then. More solidity at the back, but potentially less firepower up front.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole debate so interesting, is this shift. Progress, regression. Are Liverpool losing their identity just to get results?
I saw one commentator compare Slot style to watching paint dry. Said it's effective, but not exactly thrilling.
Yeah, and it's not just the commentators saying that.
Right.
We heard from a Liverpool fan on a call-in show, let's call him P-Dog. He actually defended Slot's approach.
Interesting. What did he have to say?
He used a golf analogy.
Golf.
He said Klopp's style was like using a driver for every shot. Powerful, but unpredictable.
Oh, okay, I can see that.
And he said Slot is more like a golfer with, a full bag of clubs, picking the right one for each situation.
So P-Dog is saying Slot is more strategic, more measured, I guess.
Exactly. He thinks this approach keeps the team solid defensively, even if it means they lose some of that attacking flair. He sees it as evolution, not a step back.
Evolution, huh? That's a good spin on it. But I bet not everyone's buying that. What are the biggest criticisms people are throwing at Slot's style?
I think the most common one is that it's just too predictable, too possession-based. It's missing that dynamism, that unpredictability that made Klopp's Liverpool so exciting to watch.
Right, yeah. You knew anything could happen.
Exactly, like that Brentford match, remember?
Yeah. Oh,
Liverpool had 37 shots,
wow.
but only 7 on target.
A lot of shots from distance.
Yeah, the shots from distance argument. Statistically, it looks impressive, but are they really that threatening?
But P-Dog, he'd probably argue that all those shots are happening because the other team's sitting back, forcing Liverpool to try their luck from outside the box.
Right, you see? That's what makes this so interesting. It really comes down to how you define exciting football. Is it about goals, number of attacks, or is it about the quality of those attacks? The moments of brilliance, the things you just don't see coming.
It's like the difference between a perfectly choreographed dance routine and freestyle, right? Both can be impressive. But they appeal to different people. Some fans want structure, precision, the feeling that the team is in control. Others want that chaos, that spontaneity, the chance of seeing something truly magical, even if it means things are a bit riskier.
Exactly. And just like with dance and football, there's room for both. That's what makes the game so great, all the different styles and approaches.
Well said. All right, everyone, we're about halfway through our deep dive into this fascinating debate. If you're enjoying it so far, do us a favor and hit that like button and share this with your friends. It really helps other football fans like you find this content.
Yeah, spread the love.
Now back to it. You were saying how some fans, especially those who lived through the Klopp era, are finding slot style a bit. Oh, boring. Is that something neutral observers are picking up on too?
That's a good question. It's tough to say what the neutrals think. They're not as emotionally invested as, say, a diehard Liverpool fan.
Right, but you can also say they have a clearer view. They're not blinded by love for the club, you
Yeah.
know. They're just watching for the love of the game.
That's true. And I think for a lot of neutral fans, what made Klopp's Liverpool so great was that they were unpredictable. You never knew what was going to happen next.
It was exciting.
It really was. Would Salah weave through the defense and just blast one into the top corner? Would Mané pull off some crazy backheel assist? Would Robertson make that run from left back and score a last-minute winner?
It was a thrill a minute.
Exactly. Edge of your seat stuff. And while Slots Liverpool, they get the job done, they don't quite have that same intensity.
So, okay, let's say I'm a neutral fan. I'm tuning in to a Liverpool match today. What am I going to see?
You're going to see a team that's super organized, disciplined, efficient in possession. They'll build up their attack slowly, probe for weaknesses, wait for the right moment to strike.
Okay, so efficient.
Yeah.
Organized. Where's the fun in that? What about those moments that make you jump out of your seat?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Some neutrals, they might enjoy watching a well-oiled machine. They might like seeing how the tactics work, how Slot's system shuts down the opponent.
Like watching a chess match.
Exactly. But for others, it might feel a bit, I don't know, sterile. Like you're watching a game that's already been decided.
This reminds me of something a fan said after a recent Champions League win. Liverpool won, Salah scored his 50th Champions League goal.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
But even he admitted the match was a bit boring.
He did.
He even joked that Salah's celebration, like it was so low-key, almost like he was saying to the club, give me that new contract, I'm carrying this team.
Huh. Maybe he was just messing around. But it does say something. If even diehard fans are feeling it, neutral observers are definitely picking up on it too.
So it really begs the question, is winning enough? If Liverpool keeps winning trophies under Slot, will fans, even the neutral ones, come around to his style?
That's a tough one. I think for some fans, yeah, winning is all that matters. They want the trophies, the bragging rights. Style is secondary.
The ends justify the means.
Right. But for others, the way a team plays is a big part of why they love the club. They want to be entertained. They want to see those moments of brilliance. They want that emotional roller coaster.
So where does that leave Liverpool? They're winning, but they're also kicking off this whole debate about what it means to be successful. Is it about the trophies? Or is it about the journey, how you get there?
And it's bigger than just Liverpool. This is happening all over the world. As the game evolves...
We're seeing more data analysis, more focus on tactics, more scientific approach,
Right. And in a lot of cases, that leads to this more strategic, calculated style of play.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just different.
Exactly. And it brings up some really interesting questions about the future of football.
Like, will we see a complete shift toward this kind of pragmatism? Will there always be teams that play with flair?
Will fans, especially neutrals, like this new era of tactical chess matches? Or will they miss the days of high-octane, end-to-end football?
So many questions.
It's a debate with no easy answers. And it's a debate that'll keep going as long as people play this beautiful game.
Something that's been striking me throughout this whole conversation is just how subjective the idea of boring football is.
Oh, 100%. One fan's boring is another fan's tactical masterclass?
Exactly. It depends on what you like as a fan, what gets you excited. What are your expectations when you watch a game?
And those expectations, they can be shaped by so many things. Your age, your football background, the teams have supported, even when you grew up watching the game.
It makes you wonder what a fan who grew up watching, say, 90s Premier League football would think of Slot's Liverpool. Would they even recognize the game today?
That's such a good question. And it really ties into this whole idea of how modern football has evolved. You mentioned the rise of data analytics and tactics. That's been huge.
But it's not just the tactics on the pitch. It's everything around the game, too. The money, the media, the fans all over the world.
Right. And the way we watch football has changed a lot, too?
Totally. We have access to way more games than ever before. On TV, online, everywhere. We can watch highlights, replays, analysis, all that stuff.
And that could actually be part of the problem. When you're watching so much football, it's only natural that some games will feel less exciting.
It's like anything else. Too much of a good thing. and it loses its appeal.
Exactly. And I think it's safe to say that the Premier League especially, it's gotten to a point where it's almost impossible for every match to be a thriller.
So maybe boring isn't the right word. Maybe it's just a sign of the times.
Maybe. Or maybe we just need to adjust our expectations.
Appreciate the little things, the tactical battles, the moments of individual brilliance, things that might not be as flashy as a 30-yard screamer.
Yeah, find joy in the whole game, not just the scoreline.
Enjoy the process, not just the result.
Exactly. And embrace all the different things football has to offer, the good and the bad, the chaos and the control.
It makes you think about the players, right? How are they feeling about all of this?
Oh, for sure.
Imagine you're Mo Salah, a guy who's built his reputation on these incredible moments of individual skill. You know, those flashes of brilliance that just light up the stadium. How do you adapt to a system that's all about, well, being a cog in the machine?
That's a really interesting question. I'd love to know what guys like Salah, Alexander-Arnold, Mané, guys who were so crucial to Klopp's system, I'd love to know what they really think. Are they happy with this new approach? Or do they miss having that freedom, that chance to just improvise, you know?
It goes back to that post-match interview we talked about.
Yeah.
That fan joking about Salah's celebration, like you sending a message,
Right.
subtly telling the club, hey, I need a new contract. I'm doing all the heavy lifting here.
Yeah, maybe he was just having a laugh. But it does make you wonder if some of these players feel a bit constrained.
Right. And if they do, how does Slot deal with that? How do you convince players who are used to being the stars to buy into a system where everyone has a specific role to play?
That's the tricky part for any manager, especially when you're changing things up so drastically. It takes good communication, understanding what makes your players tick, and being willing to adapt based on what they tell you.
And at the end of the day, it comes down to results, right? If Liverpool keep winning, Slot can probably get away with anything.
Pretty much. Winning fixes a lot of problems, but, you know, success can be a double-edged sword. The more you win, the more people expect you to keep winning. And if you start slipping up even a little bit, those criticisms about being boring are going to come back.
Which brings us back to square one. What makes a football club successful? Is it just about trophies? Or is it about something more? About playing in a way that's true to the club's history, to its identity?
That's a tough one. I don't think there's a single answer. Every club, every manager, every fan has to figure that out for themselves. It's finding that balance between doing what it takes to win and staying true to your principles.
I like that. Finding the balance. It's about more than just winning or losing.
Exactly. And that's what makes this debate so interesting. It forces us to really think about what we want from football. What matters to us as fans? What do we expect from our clubs? What kind of game do we want to see in the future?
It's bigger than just one team, or one manager, or one style of play.
Right. It's about the whole sport, about what football means to us.
And as Liverpool keep going under Slot, it'll be really interesting to see how this all plays out. Can they keep winning? Will they find a way to bring back some of that attacking flair? Or will they just keep grinding out results and will be enough?
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure. This debate about boring football isn't going away anytime soon. It's a conversation that's going to keep happening between fans, pundits, players, everyone who cares about the game.
It's a debate worth having, I think.
Absolutely.
It makes us examine our own ideas about the sport.
Yeah, it challenges us to think about what we value, what we want football to be.
Well said. So there you have it, everyone. Another deep dive into the heart of a spicy football debate. We hope you found it insightful, maybe even a bit controversial. But hey, that's what makes it fun, right? Ultimately, the beauty of football is in the eye of the beholder. So what do you think? Is Liverpool under Arne Slot truly boring? Or are they just playing a different kind of beautiful game? Let us know in the comments. And until next time, keep the conversation going.